Hi guys, so a little bit of a different video, kind of anyway. This is a response video to Nicole Arbour's Dear Fat People. Now, I did watch her follow-up video to it, and she tried to call it satire, but it wasn't funny. I mean, sure, I giggled at one spot. Gay card is covered in glitter. It's fucking magical. That made me giggle. But, I mean, that's because there's an inside joke with glitter in my high school, so. I had a problem with it, though. The entire tone of the video. Now, I've only seen these two videos from Nicole Arbour, and I don't know how she is in person. But I do know for a fact that her intent and delivery were probably not in the right place when she made this video. It was probably some last-ditch effort to become this big sensational person. Or comedy star, I guess is what she's wanting to be. I don't know. But all it did was piss people off. Fat shaming. Fat shaming doesn't exist. It's something the fat people made up. Nope. Pretty sure if you ask anyone who's been bullied and has felt ashamed for their size, that shame's real. So, they might not even be fat, but were still fat shamed when they were younger. Because maybe they were just a little chubby. And everyone else, because they were stick thin, thought that they were fat. I should know was bullied for going on 14 years now, and I'm 20 years old. That tells you anything. I know that shame, if you bottle it up inside so long, all it turns to is you wanting to eat your feelings. That's probably why the majority of my generation who was chubby when they were little is now obese or fat. Now, that might not be everyone's excuse, of course, because some people have genetic problems such as hormone imbalances or thyroid conditions or ovarian conditions. We can't control that. But those people who can control what's going on, which I am one of them, we weren't always the best looking people comparative to some. I always considered myself an ugly duckling and kinda made fun of myself almost during school because, like, people didn't care then. They were like, oh, well, she's fat, she knows it, she laughs at herself. Can't really make fun of her. So, that helped quiet things down some, but I still got picked on. I still got picked on in gym class, especially in high school. We had to start changing for gym class. That was horrendous. And Nicole Arbour has no idea what that feels like. She's probably never been the least bit chubby. Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't know someone, you shouldn't be talking about them. So her video, it's not just fat shaming, but it's the exploitation of fat people. Because not every fat person in America, the United States, North America for that matter, can say, hey, I don't agree with this. And that's wrong. Because they're their lives are being talked about, basically. And they can't say anything about it. That bugs me. And then there was a line in her video that goes something like this. No, no, that means you're fat. You should stop eating. Well, that's a dangerous line. You don't tell people you should stop eating, even if you're trying to be funny, because 2/3 of YouTube's viewers are young people, 13, 14-year-olds, people who haven't even fully developed yet. If they were to have an eating disorder at their age, just, that gives me chills, literally chills. Because at that age, if they form an eating disorder, what's going to happen is they're going to stunt their growth. They're going to start ruining their entire body. And that can't be fixed. I don't care how much you hate yourself and hate what you look like in the mirror. You need to not think like that. And her video would trigger self-harm because of just the entirety of it. I can't even pinpoint a specific spot, but her talking about people the way that she did and trying to tell someone that they need to lose weight and they need to stop eating, that's scary. She's a pitiful person for doing it. The triggers that could happen from that one video, you have self-harm triggers, you have an eating disorder trigger, which falls under self-harm and self-mutilation. You also could have an abuse trigger from that video and the follow-up video. I don't remember what it's called. But the two of those videos together have at least 3 triggers on them. Okay, granted, I have a really strong support system, but I've struggled with 2 out of the 3 of those. I struggled with a very slight eating disorder. It wasn't as severe as some people's, and I talked myself back out of it. But I've also dealt with self-harm. Since the age of, I want to say I was about 14, maybe a little younger whenever I started. And I've always had cats, so it was kind of easy to hide it. But that's not a way to go about something. It's not a coping method that I recommend, and I relapse occasionally, but I've been doing good. But if I didn't have the support that I do now, and I watched that video a couple years ago, I might not be sitting here, okay? And that's scary to think about. And I couldn't imagine other people who are going through self-harm problems and or in an abusive dynamic of some sort watching either one of her videos, because when I watched it, I felt worthless. I felt like shit. Okay? It's not something that I recommend for anyone to watch. If you do, more power to you. But just know that she is a very lonely person who obviously cares enough to make a follow-up video about not caring. Well, my thing is, your Star Wars reference sucked. you don't understand what comedy and satire is, you need to go back to school. Take your Kesha hair and shove it where the sun don't shine. And anyone out there, anyone at all that watches this video and wants help on anything, that needs someone to talk to, message me. Put me a comment down below. I will reply to your comment, and if you want to take it to a private message to talk about it, that's fine. But just know that there are people out there that are willing to help and that are willing to work with you. I'm still on my journey, and I'm losing my weight. Okay? And if you need some support, we'll lean on each other and figure out what to do next. Sorry, this video's getting a little long. Actually, my rant's over. Yep, she is an idiot because she doesn't understand what comedy and satire is. Us keyboard warriors are not killing comedy. I'm sorry, you're just not funny. She can take her Kesha hair and shove it where the sun don't shine. And if you need help, don't be silent. Ask. Well, that's all for now. I'll come back with an update video here soon. All I have to say to y'all is be yourself, fly high, don't let anybody clip them wings. Love y'all.